Let me ask you something. What if the food you grew up eating, the food your grandmother made on Sundays, the food that felt like love on a plate, was quietly destroying your body? That's not a scare tactic. That's exactly what Bishop T.D. Jakes discovered. And when he found out, he stopped. Cold. And the results shocked even his doctors. In this series, we're going through the specific foods T.D. Jakes eliminated, one by one, that help reverse his declining health, drop serious weight, and reclaim his energy at an age when most men are slowing down for good. Food number 1, fried chicken. Now, before you click off, stay with me, because this isn't about telling you fried chicken is bad. You already know that. This is about why it specifically wrecked T.D. Jakes' body, what science says is happening inside you every single time you eat it, and what he replaced it with that kept him full, satisfied, and healthier than he'd been in decades. This is the information they don't put on the menu. Bishop T.D. Jakes is one of the most recognized preachers in the world. He's built an empire, the Potter's House megachurch in Dallas with over 30,000 members, best-selling books, films, conferences. The man moves fast, but behind the scenes? His body was struggling to keep up. Jakes has been open about his weight challenges over the years. He publicly acknowledged that he let himself go, that the demands of ministry, travel, late nights and high-stress schedules had taken a toll. He was eating convenience. He was eating comfort. And at the top of that list? Fried chicken. It's practically a cultural institution in Black American churches. Sunday service ends. The fellowship hall opens. And there it is. Golden, crispy, steaming, magnificent. But here's what was happening underneath that crispy skin that T.D. Jakes didn't know, and that most of us still don't fully understand. Let's talk biology, real numbers, real data. A single piece of fried chicken, just one breast, from a fast food chain contains on average 360 to 420 calories, 21 grams of fat, and nearly 1,200 milligrams of sodium. That's over half the recommended daily sodium intake in one piece. But calories aren't even the real problem. The real problem is what happens when you fry it. When chicken is submerged in oil heated to 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, something called the Maillard reaction occurs. That's what creates the golden crust. Beautiful, yes. But during that process, the natural oils in the skin combine with the frying oil, typically vegetable oil, soybean oil, or partially hydrogenated oils, and the fat composition changes completely. You're no longer eating just chicken. You're eating a delivery vehicle for trans fats and oxidized lipids, and those two things are, according to the American Heart Association, directly linked to increased LDL cholesterol, arterial inflammation, and cardiovascular disease. A 2019 study published in the British Medical Journal, one of the most prestigious medical journals on the planet, followed over 100,000 women for nearly 2 decades. The finding? Women who ate fried chicken at least once a day had a 13% higher risk of dying from any cause compared to those who didn't eat fried foods at all. Cardiovascular-related deaths? Even higher. Let that sit for a second. This isn't about one bad meal. This is about what happens when that one bad meal becomes every Sunday, every family dinner, every road trip stop, every late-night craving answered. It adds up, quietly, systematically. Inside your arteries, your liver, your insulin receptors, all places you can't see until something goes very wrong. And for T.D. Jakes, something was going very wrong. Now, Jakes hasn't released a single documentary laying out every food he cut and exactly when. But across multiple interviews, his conversations with pastors, health advocates, and his own congregation, he has spoken candidly about his transformation. He talked about standing on a scale and not recognizing the number, about feeling winded doing things that used to be effortless, about a doctor's visit that became a wake-up call he couldn't ignore. And he talked about the cultural weight of food in his community, the guilt of saying no to something that represented fellowship, tradition, love. But Jakes is a preacher, and preachers know this truth better than anyone. Sometimes the thing that feels like a blessing is the very thing holding you back. He made a decision, not a diet. A decision, and fried chicken was the first thing off the table, literally. He began working with health coaches and nutritionists. He started understanding food not as comfort, but as information. Every bite sends a signal to your body, and for years he'd been sending the wrong ones. The transformation didn't happen overnight. But it happened, and the congregation saw it. The internet noticed. And now, people want to know exactly what he did. This is part one of that answer. There's one more piece of the fried chicken story that most people miss completely. Inflammation. When you eat fried foods, especially those cooked in refined vegetable oils, your body triggers what researchers call a pro-inflammatory response. Your immune system reacts to oxidized fats the same way it reacts to a threat. It sends inflammatory markers flooding through your bloodstream. Now, short-term inflammation is fine. That's how your body heals a cut. But chronic, low-grade inflammation from a consistently poor diet, that's been linked to type 2 diabetes, obesity, Alzheimer's disease, and certain cancers by researchers at Harvard Medical School and institutions across the globe. The oil matters enormously. Studies show that oils reused for frying, common in restaurants, contain significantly higher levels of aldehydes, toxic compounds formed when oils are repeatedly heated. One analysis from De Montfort University found that a portion of fish and chips cooked in recycled vegetable oil contained up to 200 times the safe daily limit of these aldehydes. 200 times. And you thought the problem was just the calories. This is why T.D. Jakes didn't just cut back on fried chicken. He eliminated it. Because for someone dealing with weight, blood pressure concerns, and the relentless physical demands of his schedule, there was no safe moderation lane with this food. Not yet. Not until his body was healed enough to handle it differently. Now here's what separates a transformation from a deprivation story. Jakes didn't just stop eating fried chicken and suffer through salads. He found better, and that's the whole philosophy. When you don't just remove something, you replace it with something that satisfies the same need, but serves your body instead of betraying it. So what replaced fried chicken? Baked or air-fried chicken. Same protein, same satisfaction, radically different fat profile. Air frying uses up to 70 to 80% less fat than deep frying, according to data published in the Journal of Food Science. The texture mimics frying. The flavor holds. The body responds completely differently. Grilled chicken with spice rubs. When you season correctly, you don't need the batter. Smoked paprika, garlic, cayenne, herbs. This isn't bland health food. This is real food. Lean proteins in general. Fish, turkey, legumes. Foods that deliver protein without delivering the inflammatory fat load that comes from deep frying. The key shift Jakes made, and this is documented in how people who successfully reverse diet-related health decline approach food, is that he stopped eating for immediate pleasure and started eating for sustained energy. That sounds simple. It is not simple. It requires reprogramming a relationship with food that was built over decades. It requires confronting the emotional role that food plays, especially comfort food, especially food with cultural roots, but he did it, and the results spoke louder than any sermon. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. T.D. Jakes didn't give up fried chicken because he hated it. He gave it up because he loved himself more than he loved the comfort it provided in the moment. That's a different kind of discipline. Not willpower, not restriction. It's a reorientation of love. There's a quote he's shared in various contexts that sticks with me. You can't fulfill your purpose if your body won't carry you to the finish line. Think about that. Whatever your purpose is, raising your kids, building your business, serving your community, just living long enough to see your grandchildren, your body is the only vehicle you get. You don't get a trade-in. You don't get a recall. You get one. And every single meal is either an investment in that vehicle or a withdrawal from it. Fried chicken isn't evil. But for T.D. Jakes, for his specific body, his specific health markers, his specific season of life, it was the first thing that had to go. And removing it was the first domino that started a cascade of healing. Next time, we're talking about food number 2. And if you thought fried chicken was eye-opening, the next one is going to genuinely surprise you. It's something most people consider healthy. Most people eat it thinking they're doing themselves a favor. They're not. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell because food number 2 drops very soon, and you do not want to miss it. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not to shame them, not to lecture them, just because sometimes the right information at the right time changes everything. It changed things for T.D. Jakes. It can change things for you too. I'll see you in the next one.